Now you look at this now, and again, I think Kevin hits it right. You got where our secret sauce is kind of holding everyone's feet to the fire and making sure that what's sold is what's given, and there's no hidden costs. And we do a lot of that work, right? And kind of it's part and parcel with the other side of the coin for us, where we make sure that everybody in the organization is speaking the same way about what they want. The CFO, the CEO, the CTO want the same thing all the way down the chain to that agent, right? Do you guys see, I mean, you've been through a lot of implementation, I can imagine. Do you see that as a major challenge for clients to get everyone singing from the same hymnal and get everyone kind of wanting the same stuff?
Heck yeah, and I think that's why you guys are so valuable, right? Working with folks like you, it makes it easier for us too, right? Because you're not going to sell them the wrong thing, you're not going to screw something up. So we're big fans of that.
Yeah, it just makes sense, I think, because
Yeah,
getting them all wanting the same thing, getting them all seeing the same thing on the back end is important. Now, let's dig into a little bit of your experience here, because I don't want to keep you all day, but I mean, I'd like to hear that. Where are you seeing mistakes being made in the contact center? Where are you seeing either on the vendor side or on the client side? Where are you seeing things to avoid?
good question. I don't know if I have it's funny. I just wrote an article for a workforce management group, SWPP, which is a fantastic organization. And one of the articles I was sort of relating an experience where folks think they're buying something that's the article was about AI, and and a lot of the stuff that was being promised hadn't really been developed before, or it was an environment where people are selling things that don't quite exist yet, and they're using the customer as the guinea pig.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible place to be, either both the customer and the vendor, in that sort of situation where something's been sold that you don't know if it'll actually work yet.
Rick, we just did a deployment for a client, an evaluation of a tool for a client. Let me rephrase. And one of the things they want to do in phase 2 was voice recognition, because they hate voice recognition, right? But they hate it. They've always hated it, but they want to put it in for phase 2 for an element that is really static information that's a waste of time for the agent to do it. And we're going through the evaluation, and the recognition bot was having something like a 75% wrong rate, incorrect rate on understanding people's last names. And during the demo, it worked like a charm. But when we were going through the development and trying to go through the test, 75% of the names were being misrepresented, misinterpreted by the system. Now, to me, that's unforgivable, right? It's you can't get a product out there that's 70% wrong, and people don't know what they don't know. They don't have the experience out there to see what's there and to see this sort of stuff, right? You think a voice recognition bot's can understand it because I speak into my cell phone and I can dictate text messages.
Right.
It should be easy, but these technologies are hard, and they rely on so many outside parties to get right.
Right, and it's interesting. Sometimes the vendor doesn't know that will work or not, right? So they're walking in, and it's an experiment for them, just as it is an experiment for the customer. And my little article was basically saying, here are some things that you should do to hold their feet to the fire. Some rules of thumb. On AI, if they start asking you for a lot more data than what you gave them already, that means that their models aren't quite working yet, right? Those are things that they need to keep an eye out for, because it's pretty it's a sketchy sort of environment when people are proving their technology with your money.